Step back a little bit. Oh my gosh, y'all. Tired today again, as usual. Tiredness is growing and mounting, it appears. Anyway, this is Cassandra Williamson, and ordinarily at 6 o'clock, it's the path forward. And I'm still trying to determine what the path forward is because it seems every day there's something else that we have to address. We don't have to. I mean, I could just go out and just completely forget all of this and just live my life. And that would be easy to do. Well, it would be peaceful. It would be hard to do, actually, because I have a sense of obligation, a kind of a sense of responsibility to help do some things. To move the world toward a better place, and I don't know. That's just me, I guess. I don't know. Just jump in the middle of the fire and keep on fighting, right? Yes, there's a tactical retreat, but I'm not doing that. Just because I'm tired doesn't mean you stop, right? So a lot's been happening. Taking shots at people over on Twitter for saying stupid and asinine things, whether it has to do with gender or sexuality or any topic, really. But the thing I want you to take away, the thing I want you to think about is this. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a web page of mine, and I want to bring up my web page, and I'll show you where you can go in and find some things in here. If you haven't been on the web page, you need to go there just so you get an idea of what it is that I'm talking about and the different things that I do. Okay. And I'm going to blow up this page to increase the size. Let's go share a page for a minute. Then we'll go over on X and on. It's always good to have some fun on a Friday, right? Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so increase the size so that it's easier to read. Put it up about 200%. Okay, there we go. So this is on the front page of my website. All right. The first thing you'll encounter is this: a day in the life of a transgender American terrorist. And they've been calling us trans terrorists, trans Tifa, and all that kind of stuff. So I figure the best way to address these kind of concerns are with some satire. I'm not saying that anyone should be violent. I do not condone that whatsoever, ever, period. Let me say that clearly. But I'm going to go ahead and just say this too, that the way to push back against this narrative that is just driving the anger and vitriol towards trans people in this country and gender more generally is, if we don't have the numbers to fight and win a major conflict or major engagement, either legally or otherwise. Hardly. I mean, the people speaking for us aren't really speaking for us. They're basing their decisions on academia or legalese or their years of experience in this. And guess what? We're here because of those things, not no other reason. We've been doing this to ourselves for decades now, and drawing greater and greater divisions between us and the rest of society. And when it comes to trans people and gender identity, well, we're on this side of the fence. We have been saying for years and years and years and decades that gender is the most important aspect of our lives. However, for 99.789%, actually 2 or 3%, 99.2 or whatever, genetic sex and anatomical sex are the things that matter. And we have lambasted these people who claim that is the case. We've given them a hard time. We've told them that their views on things are backwards and upside down, when in reality, that's not the case at all. They're actually just on opposite sides of the same Januszian little thing. Okay, we are, all of us, on different sides of the same coin. It's a multifaceted coin that has many, many faces to it. And I can go down through here. This story about right here, this home front thing that I'm talking about. If we go here on this page, Day in the Life of Transgender American Terrorist. My life centers around taking care of the family, doing things here in Eastern Kentucky on Mud Lick Road. That's the primary goal that I have in life, because that's the things that matter. And family should matter to all of us. If it's chosen family, fine. If it's your natural families, fine. Whichever category it is, then those things should be the focus of your lives, and not going out here and trying to lambast people because they use the wrong words to describe you. We need to get past that. It's doing more harm than good. I mean, we've got some really good, amazing human beings in this community who are trans people. And they, that label, even though it is a modern term, trans people and the study of gender and gender differences go back for millennium, thousands of years, literally thousands and thousands of years, folks. It goes way back. And every culture has had people who have lived their lives in a different, as a way of living that was different from the standard norms of society, but they were different and in most cases, accepted, and even in many cases revered. So we've got all of this stuff, but to hear people over on X and over on social media sites and up on Fox News and all of these people from the Will Cain Show and the Five and Jesse Waters and Laura Ingraham, I mean, they have spent days and days, basically 24/7 for the past 9 months, and even going before that, attacking gender and gender ideology. And I hate the term gender ideology. That's a term. And here's why I hate it, because it makes it look like that we have a choice in this matter. And we are the ones who started that term, that way of describing that. It came from here in our own communities. It came from Judith Butler, the academic from out in California, who wrote mountains of literature and studies, all this kind of thing on gender ideology and transgender ideology and stuff like that. And that's how she described it, and transgenderism, and putting all those labels out there as if it were a choice to be who we are, when in fact, even Judith knows now that was the incorrect way to describe things. But it doesn't matter if she knows better now. It was in print. People look at it, they study it, they use it, they turned it against us and weaponized it. The same thing happened with Kimberly Crenshaw. Kimberly Crenshaw was the one who developed critical race theory, and out of it arose things like intersectionality and all the things that we know are valid concepts, valid things. I mean, it's true that you can have different types of minority stress, or even minority euphoria, really, that comes from different aspects of your identities. And there's an intersectionality to all of that. And they kind of add to each other and build on things, but it's been used against us now. And I've even written on it, as a matter of fact. I've got papers out there on different platforms talking about this thing. Academia is one. Academia.edu is one of them. Some different preprint sites. I put stuff out on that. I've got academic stuff out all over the place talking about gender and the fuzziness of gender and feminism and all kinds of stuff. I've been writing on it for years. Literally. So, yeah, this stuff, I've forgotten more than a lot of people would ever remember, I suppose. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that we have been our own worst enemy in a lot of those things. We've become more and more entrenched in our way of thinking. We've got our own gatekeepers that try to enforce the rules within our organizations, within our groups of people. We've got people over here who are transgender who will come to you and flat out tell you that you shouldn't say those kind of words, or we don't want to talk about that topic. And maybe you shouldn't go down that road of pursuing that kind of knowledge right there, going down the genetic side of things and then switching over and going down the gender side of things. I've had people tell me to get away from those topics, folks. Not recently. Well, no, let me just take that back. There have been a lot of them recently, but it started a decade ago. It started a decade ago. I had a lot of stuff going on where I was studying gender separately, the history of gender and concepts in gender. And then I was also studying the science of genetics behind reproductive sex and chromosomal sex and anatomical sex and how they express and how they can be variable and not binary. So the big pushback now is they're trying to make sure that they put out all the literature they can to make sure that chromosomal sex, genetic sex is perceived as being binary. And we know it's not. we know it is not. There are epigenetic factors that push it and make it like a slider switch. You can slide from one side, complete maleness, over to complete femaleness, and everything in between is possible. It's a little slider switch. It goes zip, completely female, zip, completely male. I'm talking about gender and not chromosomal sex or even anatomical expression, even though all of those are also on those categories. They're sliders like that right there. And we have absolutely just run the table on ourselves, trying to get the world to accept that we are right about gender. And we may be right about gender, and likely are, but the problem is we have refused to accept the fact that their side is also true, folks. We're not going to be able to change their mind on that. There's just no way it's going to happen. Not going to happen. So let me see if I can kind of get you some things going on here. So let's go over to the menu button. And let me see, you got the whole person. I'm going to go down to the whole person option right here. Kind of shrink it a little bit. I'm going to pull the page down. Well, maybe like this. The whole person thing is over on the website, on my website. You can go check it out. Let me shrink it up a little bit. So inside, let me just blow it up actually. Increase the size. Inside in here is you. This big white ball, it could be black, brown, purple, pink. I don't care. Just use white because it stands out clearly. All right. And you'll notice there are multiple facets on this thing. Each of those things are aspects of our identity. No one facet is more right than the other, but also no one facet is more or less wrong than the other. Okay. And just the three that I threw out here on top of this page, let me reduce it down. You got sex assigned at birth, typically defined by observation and not genetics, but just observation. You got gender identity, which is internal sense of self, and a lot of things. We know that there's an internal sense of self that it begins to develop around 4 and 5 years of age in every human being. It's always there. For most people on the sexual side and on the gender side and on the chromosomal side, they all line up, folks. They all match. But this little white ball with all those multiple facets on it, this represents you as a multifaceted individual, and it comes with assigned sex at birth. You were assigned a sex at birth. Stop denying it. Trans people, gender nonconforming people, stop denying that that's the case. It's just another facet of who you are. When you deny that, it makes you look like you're off in la la land. But for the people over there on the right side or any other side claiming that only chromosomal sex or genetic sex or sex assigned at birth or the anatomical sex that was observed at birth, that's all that matters, and that gender and sex are all synonymous terms and all that, well, they're wrong about that, but they're right about what they actually say in terms of that's just another facet. But they can't see the other facets because all that matters to them are those categories of genetic sex, chromosomal sex, and sex that was observed, and your anatomical sex that was expressed at birth that the doctor saw or your parents saw or your whoever saw. Somebody saw and said, hey, look, right there's the stuff that makes you a female. But that says nothing about the genetics of you because you don't know. There are people with complete anatomical structures that are male whose genes are female. I'm not going to dig into all the science of all that. Y'all have heard these conversations before. You know these things. You know it's out there. But they're not wrong when some people lock onto those things and say this is what's important. It's important to them. What we have to start figuring out how to do is convey yes, and we're not denying that. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that my sex assigned at birth was male. I'm not denying that my genetic sex is XY male. I know that. You know how I know that? I've got a 40-year-old son. Guess where he got his Y chromosome from? It didn't magically appear out of the sky. It wasn't just suddenly bestowed upon him miraculously in some kind of miraculous birth. No, it wasn't. It came from me. It did. And I've got 3 daughters. The youngest will be, 35 in 2 months. My youngest child will be 35 in 2 months. I've got 3 daughters, and she's the youngest, but they have 2 X chromosomes. Where the other X chromosome came from, the second one? Well, it wasn't miraculously bestowed upon them. It didn't just suddenly appear out of the sky. Somebody said, and on this day, the North Star will point down and you will be miraculously conceived as female. No, it came from me. Yeah, I know that. I've done Ancestry.com, and one of my daughters has too. So, yeah. So whenever she did that, I called her up and said, hey, Jordan, guess what? You are my daughter. So we can't be denying the truth of our genetic sex. We cannot be denying that our sex observed at birth was the same as or different from or whatever. It was whatever it was, it was. That's what it was. Just let it go. That's what it was. And then go, yes. And there's more to your identity than that. One of those facets on that big white ball right there in the background, one of those facets represents the genes. And another one of those facets represents anatomical sex expression. Another one of those represents, your sex assigned at birth. There's another one that represents how strong or how strongly you identify as male or female, because that's on a scale too. That's on a slider switch. Every bit of it is. Go down here to gender expression. Let me go over and see if I can pull up this other one down here. Each one of these are linkable things. You can go right on this website and check it out for yourself. Go dig into it. Understand these things. Most of us in the trans community, most of us in the non-binary and non-gender or gender non-conforming communities, we know a lot of these things. Some people, I've had people tell me that we're too focused on gender, and yeah, that's probably the case. Probably exactly the case. And some people don't even want to focus on gender. They just want to focus on the biology. But those people typically are just one of these facets right there on that little white ball on one part. Or how many facets to that thing? Lord, I don't know. I haven't counted all the different parts that make up that object, spherical surface or three-dimensional surface that's in there. I don't know. But you can grab this thing and just turn it around and do all kinds of shit. It's all in here. Just turn it around. You can look at the shadow it casts. I mean, we want to go with this thing. It is there. Just play with it. Go in there and study some things and look at it. And you can blow it up and look at any part of it you want. Remember, this is the whole person. Click on the panel, learn more. Click and drag to change the perspective. If you want to center this one, or no, not you want to do that. If you want to center it, just center it. Bring it up to the top. Click on it. Let's see where it goes. It takes you to another page. A little discussion about that. It's very brief. I've got to do some editing in a lot of this. There's some things in here that we need to correct. There need to be other sources besides just HRC, GLAAD, and Trevor, because that's everybody falls within sex assigned at birth. Every single person had a sex was assigned at birth. They did. Yes, they did. They sure did. And there are a lot of people who, and yes, I have friends who definitely are intersex too, in which case their observed sex at birth it was ambiguous, or something was a little different about it, or it was different enough that it was observed and recorded and passed on to that person. Yeah, those things happen. But this has nothing to do with the entire description of who you are. That right there, folks, are. Let me pull this page up a little bit. This thing in the middle, as I said before, that represents it all, folks. That's every bit of who you are. All these different things. I could have put different things in here. Still do that. What I want to try to do is I got Gemini to help me write the code for this. And Gemini does a good job with the code on this. But what I'd like to do is have each of the facets on this little ball inside here, something that you could blow up, and each one of these labels inside there on the squares or on the triangles inside there. And you can click on those different facets of you as you're spinning that thing around. You know, you can click on it. This, I'll get there. I'm working on it. Ideas running through my head. So I get Google and AI systems to help me create, help me write the code to make it happen. If you're not using AI, you're going to lose. You're going to be way behind. So let me go back up here to the top of the page. Now we're going to go to our blog site. Let's go over to the blog page. Okay, you got the path forward, midday, adversarial collaboration. That's a good one too. Subscribe, research, and subscribe. Help me pay my bills. If you find what I'm doing interesting, please subscribe and help me pay the bills. A lot of people say buy coffee, cup of coffee, or whatever, but I don't drink enough. I don't drink coffee frequently enough to pay my bills. There's a research section that you can only get to if you are a paid subscriber, an about section, and then you've got, let me see, the blogs right here. The shop just has one of these things in it. If anybody wants some of these things, you can get them. I've got them. It just says, I serve for all Americans. So let's go to the blog page. Check out this latest blog. You ready? Maybe. Here we go. All post. I like this AI image right here. I serve for all Americans. There was another one that somebody else did over on Twitter X that I gave a basic just image, no video clip, but just an image like that. And they took it and had me jumping out of it. And running out there and saying something, I don't know, something about my Cheerios. No, I thought that was funny. Anyway, so let me reduce the page just slightly so I can see what else is on here. All right, back down to normal. All right, is gender a modern myth? Unpacking the historical truth behind today's. Let's click on this one. Now, this is just the introduction to a 4-part series. The first part of it will come out Sunday morning, about 9:30-ish Eastern time. And that's part 1, but it'll go through historical things, different perspectives over history over parts 1, 2. And part 3, it jumps into Europe and the Americas, including goes into Albert Cashier, the Union soldier, as well as and talks about my friend from out in California, Sister Mary Elizabeth Joanne Clark, who served in the Navy as a man in the 50s, got out in the 60s, got an honorable discharge, then went to work for the Army and got out of the Army as a woman, actually joined the Army as a woman, and then got out with an honorable discharge from there too as herself. I don't know of anyone else who's ever done that, but she did it. And Joanne is just an amazing person. She's in her 80s, late 80s now. I hope she's doing well. I haven't spoken to her in probably about a year, I would think. But anyway, so today's post, this is introduction, okay? And you can go over there and read it. Go check it out. Go check it out. Let me put the link over here. If I can get the link, I'm going to put the link to this over in the chat section. And I think my chat will only go, let me post to just YouTube, I think. I think that's the only one. Yeah. I don't know why it lets me just post to YouTube. Anybody got any ideas? I need to be able to post elsewhere as well. Anyway, anybody watching, wherever you might be watching from, go to my website. It's right here at the bottom. Go to Cassandra-LLC.com. And just so you know, what I have set up here is Cassandra Lee Williamson, LLC. It's a licensed limited liability corporation in the state of Kentucky with a federal EIN. This is a for-profit business, not a nonprofit. If you have a nonprofit out there and you're working in this field, you should be really, really, really looking at figuring out ways to disengage from the federal government, because they are looking at all of the nonprofits that might have anything to do with trans people and gender information at all, or anything to do with Antifa, or anything to do with Act Blue, or anything that's Democratic. They're going after it. So you better be tightening up your screws, folks, and pulling it all in, because this administration is looking to shut it all down. They really are. They are looking to shut you down. All right, so let me go over and see what else we've got going on. So now I'm going to go over, while we're doing that, I'm done looking at the website and kind of encouraging you to go there. And I've been talking 26 minutes. Oh my God, let's go have some fun. You ready? Let's go have some fun over on X. X is always fun. Twitter. I just want to see what's on the top of the page. Let me just share screen before I get there, because I want you to see with me exactly what I see at the very beginning of loading this page on this one. See that right there? X. I'm going to increase the size. I want you to see where we are. I'm going to increase it to like 150. I may have to go larger. 175. Okay, I want to click on Twitter. Let it load up. Let's see what the very first topic is. I want to make sure I'm on the right page. It's anti-fascist 07. Go right there to that. Okay. And now let's go home. Just want to go to the top of the page. This other stuff is already here. Okay. Breaking. RFP declares America's declining birth rate a national security threat. All righty. Okay. Samsung Mobile advertising against atheism. The tomb is empty. I've got several tombs that are empty. As a matter of fact, around here, they'll put you in a tomb, especially one of the mausoleum type tombs. They'll put you inside that thing, and you can stay in it for like 20 or 30 years until they need it. Then they'll remove you and put somebody else in it. They were doing the same thing back then. Y'all are crazy. Crazy. Oh my God. All right, so let me see. I went to a mosque. Okay, not to pander for votes, but to tell those terrorists to go back to their 57 Muslim nations. Who the heck are you, Valentina Gomez? You went to a mosque. Wow. Jesus is king. I speak the truth. The crooks save children. D1 swimmer, MBA, financier, team. Valentina for Congress. She's running for Congress. She's followed by retard finder, Tom Holman, and 53 other people. That's on my list. She went in and told them to go back. They're not all terrorists, Valentina. It's just like all Christians aren't Christian ultra-nationalists like Doug Wilson and Pete Hegseth. Sure seemed like it. Or Matt Walsh. It sure seemed like it because they speak the loudest. But anyway, Valentina, that's stupid what you did. Really. Dumb. She gets the dunce cap. Let me see if I can come up with a dunce cap here. Let me go in and put a GIF up here, and I'm going to put dunce, D-U-N. I need a dunce cap. What's this for us? Let's see. An idiot sandwich. What are you, an idiot sandwich? That's pretty funny. You're the best plonker I have ever met. You win the dunce hat. I'm going to put that one on there for Valentina. Sure did. You win the dunce hat. Okie dokie. Anti-woke means, did you know dating a trans girl is still in a straight relationship? Okay, so what's your response to him? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me see. Did you know that straight guy dating a trans girl is still a straight and a straight? Yeah, I know that. I know that. I agree with that, actually, because gender is important to me. But the person who is opposed to this is anti woke meme out there. Guess what? Their genetic sex is important to them. Neither are wrong. They're both right. That's kind of Janusian, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Appleyard. Yeah, we've had a few things with Hazel Appleyard over time. What can we say to this person here? Did you know? What's your response to him? Congratulations. Congrats. That's true. Okay. All right. So now let me look here. Is this what you voted for? DK. Let me see who DK is. DK is proud American, MAGA, sarcastic bastard, pure blood, back the blue, cancer survivor, pro life 100%. I like to make jokes, no lists. Following got 437,700 followers. Got a lot of people following DK who has no name. Really proud of himself. That's what I think about this. People who hide behind these fake names like that, they're really proud of the fact of all the stuff that they say. They're really so into it. They really are. Hiding behind a fake name and making all of these statements. Yeah, no, no. All right. Trump has kicked out 8,980 active duty and 5,727 reserve members who identify as transgender. Do you agree with this? No. They're more qualified than most of you. They are and were more qualified to serve in the military than you. So much for merit. So much for merit. That's metter. So much for merit. So much for merit. Let me go and put one of my AI generated images. Like, which one do I want to put up? Let me see. Let's go ahead and put this one up. That one. This is a little angry face. Okay. Okay. Oh, this banning, decline, banning abortion. Look, okay, child sacrifice center. Call it what it is, a child sacrifice center. Oh my gosh. The evolution, no, I'm not even going down that one right now. I did all that earlier today. Got tied up in a whole conversation with all these people on the religious views, and I'm just not going down that road with them right now because I consider them to be mythical, completely mythical. Oh my God. All right. All right. All right. Harness the power of NetSuite. I got to find out who this is. Who is JC Ryle? Okay. We'll get that up there while it's coming. Feed your soul by reading your Bible. Lift up your spirit by praising the Lord. Strengthen your faith by talking to Jesus. And you think we have a problem with fantasies? Mm-hmm. Yep. I get you. I got you. I see you. I do see you. Things that are not real. Press a heart for all. Santa's not real. Islam. Religion of peace. Well, look, the Christianity says it's a religion of peace too, but you know what? They sure destroyed a lot of people in the Crusades on both sides. Men can have babies. You know, you can implant a uterus. You sure can. Getting better and better. When that possibility arose, if I were like 50 years younger, I might consider something like that. But no, I'm not. I'm 66. I have no interest in doing that. I love my grandkids and I love my children and I love being able to send them home, but I haven't seen them in a while because I've been here on Mudlick Road in Hardy in Pike County, Kentucky. And if my kids are watching or any of my family's watching, come on by. Johnny Knight, Midnight. Should Michael Bird have been charged with killing Ashley Babbitt? What? No, because she was the one in the wrong. Absolutely was. Okay, reinstate the McCarran-Walter Act of 52 forbidding Muslims from holding public office. You have got to be stupid as fuck to say something like that. Okay, Oliver Burdick. Responsible use of alcohol is not sinful. Literally. Jesus literally turned water into wine. Hey, Oliver. Yep, responsible use. Okay, would you support banning foreign born citizens from running for office? No. Would you have supported banning, I don't know, shoot, can't think of his name now, Arnold Schwarzenegger from being governor of California? He was Republican. No, you won't. That doesn't apply to the Republican side. Okay, I got it. It only applies if they're Democrats. I see you. I see you too. So no more Arnold. I'm gonna put that on here. So no more Arnold. Got it. Okay. Protect trans adult was a trans kid. That's true. That's true. Some may have been in hiding, like me. Some may have been out and open, like others. But we were still kids. We didn't just suddenly, magically, mysteriously appear out of thin air. No, did not. Okay, if you want to play a fun drinking game, search from an RAVT trans kids and take a drink every time you get a new tweet. You'll have alcohol poisoning in 30 seconds. All right, search. Okay, I'm going to do it. Let's go see what it says. And paste. And search. Let's see if it does anything. Yeah, no, this Naira. Okay, Naira. I got you. All right, that's not where I wanted to go. I mean, it's interesting. I spend a lot of time there. I understand where they're coming from. So no more Arnold. Follow you, reposted. They replied to you. And let me see what this is about. Oh, Larry Thorne. I have to reply with common sense. It's in my DNA. You're conflating things you obviously know nothing about. That was me sending a link to Is gender a modern myth? If anyone is conflating, it's people who have an alternate motive. If not, why bring children who still believe in Santa? You never see anyone sending children to the North Pole to live out their fantasy. Wow, nuance just flew way over your head, didn't it? Just flew way over your head, didn't it? Didn't. Okay, we'll leave it that one. Okay, let's go see who else said something down here. Okay, somebody me. All right. Everything you mentioned so far involves purpose. How can you give an example of an action that doesn't have a purpose but is still intelligent? Well, dummy. I'm not going down this road. I'm done talking with you too, Erickson Silva. Because what I was saying, basically, what I'm saying is that there is no purpose to all of this. We just live and define. There, look. Purpose to life or the universe. It just is. What you think is important today will not be tomorrow. Let me see. There is no purpose to life or the universe. It just is. You get to make your intelligence whatever you decide. But, well, leave it at that. Your intelligence and the purpose of it, whatever you decide. The universe doesn't care. Does not care. And will not care tomorrow. K-R-T-O-M-M-O-R-O. Tomorrow. I put too many R's in tomorrow. It says tomorrow. Okay, let me go up here. Right, does anyone, if anyone's complaining, they also book in the day? Yes, they did. They sure did. Yeah. And I'm not going to watch your 4-part stuff. Okay. Why do we even have different generals if it doesn't define biology? You're focused. You are focused on only one facet of identity. I-D-E-N-T-I-T-Y, identity. That which is genetically defined or that which was observed at birth. There's more to it than that. More to it than that. Gender is also one of those facets. Gender is also one of those numerous facets. That's not spelled numerous. Okay. I'm going to put a link over here. Go over here to the website. Hold on. This is what we do all day long. Kind of go in here and I go to here to the www. Hit that page, get the link to it. Go over to the menu button. I'm going to go down here to, the person. That's the one I want. Here, I'll help you. Copy. This will help. But you have to look at it. But you do need to look at it to review it. The white sphere, the white multifaceted object, the white multifaceted object in the middle is a representation of our Janusian, is a representation of our Janusian, Janusian identities. You have one too. paste. Okay. So this is what we do. It's a little entertainment out here in the wild. Okay. And let me go on down. If you claim I got something wrong, is on you back. I'm not talking to you again because you don't care one bit. Okay. A couple other people in here actually like my reply. So no more Arnold. Yep. Basically implying, hopefully they understood what I meant, that they're not too old to realize that Arnold Schwarzenegger was once governor of California. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure was. Yeah, but he's a Republican though, so you're all right with keeping him around. That's basically what that meant, right? All right, everybody. Let's call it a day. I've been talking for like too long already. It's 46 minutes into this program. Come back on Monday around noon. We'll do it again. If breaking news occurs over the weekend, I'll jump in and have something to say. Do sign up. Go to the website. Let me get rid of the share screen stuff over here. Go to the website and sign up. Make sure you do, because I do send out emails quite frequently. And there'll be links in that for the different blog posts that I do and different series of things. And this most recent one is talking about gender and the history of it and how Charlie Kirk was wrong, because he claims that it was just a recent thing, and it's not. But, that was his shtick. Okay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hug somebody you know, and occasionally hug some people you don't know and see how they react to that.